Hey, this is Max, and welcome to the Ronin System podcast. So, today's episode is going to be sort of the first one in a series of like a miniature series of episodes. For the next few episodes, I would say about the next 3 or 4, I'm going to be talking about a very similar topic, and that topic is my own sort of faults, my own insecurities and inadequacies that I see in myself, and that I feel that I have and will always have, because it's just something as a human being. This is just something that's natural, something that's almost instinctual, and for me, it's something that I know I'll have to live with, and surely can't live without. And I wanted to sort of put that in a light for you guys to see. From my perspective, I know that these are not necessarily negative things, but things that may be perceived as bad. Things that may be perceived as something you don't want, something you don't want to express or show or, be labeled as. And so for this first one, I just want to say that right off the bat, I know I am selfish. I'm a selfish person. I do a lot of things for myself, and I do a lot of things to benefit myself. In fact, pretty much everything I do, the first real thought I consider is, what is the benefit for me? What is the downfall for me? How would this affect me? What can I gain? What can I lose? And, not always will it be sort of this thing where, I could be thinking about, like, should I attend this party or whatever? What's the benefit to me? Should I help this person? What's the benefit to me? And not always is it going to be the answer as, if it doesn't benefit me, I'm not going to do it. If it puts me in a bad position, or if it makes me lose something, I'm not going to do it. No, it's never been that way. I just wanted to say that, whatever I do, whatever I'm about to or thinking about doing, I'll always think about what is the sort of benefit, and what is the sort of the loss for me. What can I lose? What can I gain? Like I said, and no matter the answer, there's going to be sort of a pro and a con sort of a balance to it. Sometimes there's too many cons, and I won't do it. Or reverse, sometimes there's too many pros, and I will do it. Even flip-flop of that, there could be a lot of cons, but one pro that's just, you cannot ignore, you cannot, it makes it worth it, right? And obviously on the other side, it makes it not worth it if there's a lot of pros, but then there's just one major con, right? There's one major bad part, one negative about it. And that's really just me saying that I know I can be selfish. I know I have selfish tendencies. I'm very sort of self-centered, but it'll never be me admitting that I'm a bad person. I know I'm not a bad person. I'm not. I do good things out of the goodness of my heart, but there are a lot of things that I do that are selfish. There's a lot of things I do that I only care about myself in those situations, And one of the biggest things is just taking the time out of pretty much every day to focus on what I can do to improve myself. That is selfish. You're thinking of yourself. You're thinking of ways to benefit yourself, thinking of ways to improve yourself, make yourself better. That's selfish. That's not a bad thing, though. It really isn't. And, I remember having this conversation with a buddy of mine who was going through some relationship problems. And, I just told him, look, it's okay to be selfish in a relationship. It's okay to think about yourself instead of the other person. It's okay. It's normal. It's natural. We as a species, we as human beings, our instinct is to survive. Our instinct is to do what we can to ensure our own survival, ensure our own lives, and ensure that we not only survive, but thrive. Right? And no matter what, that is always going to be in the back of our minds. And I understand there's people out there that are very selfless. I understand there are people out there that really do care about every single person that they encounter, and will do anything in their power to better those people before bettering themselves. But for most everyone, at least in my eyes, I do believe that we as a species, we as human beings, individuals, will always find a way to make our own lives better before making other lives better. That's just, I'm always talking about how I want to open a facilities for people to improve themselves. Like a gym where you can get healthier, but along with getting healthier, you're improving your other aspects of your lives. You're doing things to sort of raise up the community. You're doing things to empower others. I'm always talking about, if I had the money, if I had the time, if I had the ability, I would be giving back. Now that's something that's sort of a driver for me. It's a motivation for me. It's a dream, right? That's the dream. But deep down as well, it's more because it's also for my benefit. I've always dreamed about opening my own gym because, I want everyone to think about their health, everyone to think about their own fitness levels and what they can do to become stronger, faster, but above all, is better. That's just something I'm always thinking about, that I'm always like pushing for. But in reality, that opening that gym is more just to support my own goal of getting better, my own goal of becoming the best version of myself, whether it's to become stronger, better, to become faster, become just more aesthetically pleasing, look more athletic, feel more athletic. That's for me, but it's also for others. And that's sort of what I mean here. I'm selfish in that regard, but that selfishness is okay. It's totally fine to have that feeling, at least in my opinion. It's totally okay to really look at everything you do and everything you want to do in sort of like this narrow mind where you want to make it better for yourself first. I think that's okay. I think that's completely natural, and it's something that, really all of us would be thinking about. We all think about how we can make our own lives better, how we can really get ourselves to a better position, how we can, achieve more success in our career, achieve success pretty much anywhere in life, with relationships, with extracurriculars like jiu-jitsu. A lot of guys do jiu-jitsu for themselves. A lot of guys, they'll compete for themselves. That's just something that's normal amongst us. I think that's just a normal, natural thing. We're always looking for ways to get us to that next level, to get us one step ahead of everyone else, to really push our own limits so that we can see ourselves in a position better than others. And one of the biggest things I always preach is that, you don't get good, you only get better, right? You don't get good, you only get better. And that's really the thing here. That's a very selfish mentality when you think about it. You're looking at others and seeing what they have. That's the idea behind you never get good, because there's always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be someone that is ahead of you or can beat you, or they're more successful or whatever, and you're really just trying to outdo them. You're trying your best to overcome them, and sometimes it can lead you down a path that can seem bad. It can lead you down a path that others can perceive as negative, as bad, and a prime example of that is, if you're training jiu-jitsu, that's one example I'm always going to go back to. If you're training jiu-jitsu and you're getting ready for a tournament, right? You're getting ready for a competition, and you see your teammates, you see your training partners, they're better than you. They are. There's certain areas where they're better than you, or maybe all the areas they're better than you. I'm not afraid to admit that a lot of guys that I train with, a lot of guys that I work with, they're better than me. It's plain and simple. I mention it all the time. They're better technically. They're better athletically. They have more of a drive than I do. And I'm not going to lie, when I step on the mats, I don't compete. But when I step on those mats, it feels like I want to beat them. It feels like I want to do what I can to show them I'm better, to show them that I'm superior. And it's funny because there's actually a poster in the gym that says something along the lines of, "You are not the most important person in the room, your training partner is." And yes, that's true. Your training partner, you couldn't be able to train without training partners. It's just not possible. But, I do respect them. I respect them all. I admire their abilities. And it's sort of this thing where, if they beat me, or if I don't do as well as I want to, I get angry, because I'm being a little selfish. I'm feeling that I'm better than them. I'm feeling that I can be better than them, and it's pushing me to make me better. That's sort of my idea behind that. You never get good, you only get better. And really, when I tell people this, it's more to show them that, look, no matter what you do, there's always going to be someone better, and you can't accept that. You know what I mean? You can and you can't. You can and you cannot. You can accept the fact that there's someone better than you. That's totally okay because you're not going to be the best at everything. But you can accept it. You cannot accept it because you have to be selfish enough with your training, with whatever you're doing to try and be successful, to push past your own limits, to push past who you are and who you want to be. You know, when you step on those mats or whatever you do, this is just pretty much the only good example I know. But when you step on those mats and you're doing your drills, when you're training, you want to get that last rep in. You want to get more reps in. You want to get more sets in. You want to be able to do the technique better. You want to be able to sharpen your own abilities. You want to be able to stay on the mats longer. That's being selfish. You know, sometimes people will steal reps from you, and you got to steal reps back. You know, you can't be entirely selfless. You can't be like, you know, even in my position where I don't compete, and I see these other guys competing. Yeah, sure, I want to help them get better. I do. You know, I want to make sure that they compete at their highest level. You know, I want to make sure that they can win, you know, to be successful, and or at least understand, you know, that they're getting better. But I also want to get better. That's also my goal. I do want to achieve more on the mats. I do want to become a better jiu-jitsu player, you know, and I will steal reps. I will steal time. I will, you know, if we had 30 minutes on the clock to drill, I will take a lot of that, as much time as I can to work on myself. I'll take as much time as I can to improve my own ability. You know, when we're rolling, when we're sparring, I will take as much time as I can. I will do as much as I can to ensure that I'm winning, to ensure that I'm in a better spot. And it's not because I want to, but it's just because I'm being selfish with it. It's just because I'm getting a little bit egotistical. I'm getting a little self-centered with my own training. And I think that's normal. I think that's natural. Does it make me a bad person? Does it make me a bad training partner? I don't think so. Because if someone else was doing that to me, I understand. If someone else wanted to, you know, steal my reps, someone wanted to steal my time on the clock, I understand. Because again, like I said, we're human beings. That's normal for us. It's natural. It's instinctual to want to be better, to want to achieve more, to be the top dog. It's just plain and simple. That's all it is. And the reason I'm saying this is because I'm acceptive of the fact that I can be selfish. I'm acceptive of the fact that there are certain things I do and certain things I want to do where it's more about me than anyone else. It's more about me than everything else. And that's okay. You know, that's really the theme here, is accepting that you have flaws, accepting that there are things that can be perceived as negative about you. And there are things about you that 100% are bad, you know? And that's okay, because you have to be able to live with your demons. You have to be able to live with the flaws that you see in yourself, with the inadequacies and the downfalls of your own personality, of your own character, of your own body. You have to be aware of it, because the first step of overcoming something is knowing that it exists. The first step of sort of conquering your fears or becoming a better person is acknowledging that you're not. Is acknowledging that you do have fears, that you are afraid. Acknowledging the fact that you are not the best in the room. Acknowledging the fact that you can do better. You know, that's the theme here. And that's really the point that I'm trying to get across. That you have to be selfish to understand that. You know, you have to be able to look at yourself and say, you know, you can look at people more successful than you, people that are more talented, people that are more athletic, people that are better than you, better looking, you know, they're smarter, they're stronger, they're faster, they're just better. And you have to get jealous about it. You have to get envious. That's like the selfish part of it, the negative part of it. You have to get jealous of it. Like, I'm jealous of people that are more athletic. I always say that I'm not the strongest. People always assume that I'm strong. I'm not fast. I'm not explosive. I'm not smart. I'm not. And I'm acceptive of that. And I'm jealous of people that are. I'm jealous of people that can, you know, solve physics problems. I'm terrible at physics. I'm jealous of people that are capable of squatting 300, 400 pounds. It drives me crazy. I'm jealous of people that have more money, that have more success, that have, you know, beautiful cars, beautiful homes, wonderful lives. I'm jealous of that. And I want it. I want it for myself. I'm selfish about it. I want more money. I want more power. I want more athleticism. I want to be better. I want to be smarter. I understand that. I understand that those are things that can hold me back. I understand those are things that can also motivate me. Those are things that can help me to achieve what I want to achieve. Those are things that when I think about them, I shouldn't get mad. I should get motivated. I shouldn't get upset or overly jealous or obsessive. I should get determined, dedicated. I should use that as fuel and proper fuel. I should be selfish about my goals. I should be selfish about my own life. And that's normal. That's completely normal. It's okay. You have my okay to act that way, to think that way, actually. Not entirely act that way, but to think that way, to believe that, to feel that. And you can act on it. You can act on your own selfish desires. You can act on the fact that, if you're offered a position that you know can push you further, that you know can make you successful, and you have to step on some people along the way, you have my permission to do that. Because again, we have to be selfish about it. We have to. It's just something that we need to do. And another part of that is, I'm always talking about balance as well. You have to find a balance with it. You can't always be selfish. You can't always be wanting to achieve everything only for yourself. There are times when you need to be selfless. There are times when you need to think of others. Because when you really think about it, we as a species, again, we do want to survive. We do want to achieve more. We do want to thrive. But we cannot do it alone. We need those training partners. Like that poster says, you are not the most important person in the room. You're the most important person in your life, but not in the room, right? And you have to realize that not everything is going to be centered on you. Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't. And you have to understand that. You have to see that. You have to see that you're not going to get better at jiu-jitsu unless you have training partners that respect your time and that want to achieve what they want to achieve while understanding that you want to achieve what you want to achieve. You're not going to get successful in your career unless you realize that you're going to need a team. You're going to need a team of people you can trust, people you can, confide in, people that you can call for help. And you also have to realize that there are people that you have to push out of your way. And sometimes, they could be your friend one day and then your foe the next. They can be sort of an ally in one instance and an opponent in the next. And this really goes into another part of it where you can be selfish, not just for yourself, but for your allies, for your team. You can be selfish for your community. You can be selfish for your own group, your clan, your tribe. You can think of yourself more of as a collective instead of an individual at that point. You can think of yourself sort of in two realms, as an individual and as a part of a team, as part of a tribe, And there's always going to be that sort of aspect where in the gym, if I'm training, right, if I'm doing jiu-jitsu and I see my training partners getting better, yes, I can be selfish in that regard where I can be like try and take some time to train for myself and to train to make myself better. But overall, it's making the team better. And when you make the team better, you make yourself better. It's sort of like this sort of domino effect where you're making yourself better by making your team better. You're making yourself better selfishly by being selfless, And this can be applied to anything in life, right? Especially in career, especially in relationships. If you're in a group of friends or even if just it's you and your significant other, you can be selfish. You can be selfish in deciding that, look, I'm going to take some me time. I'm going to take some time away from your significant other to pursue your own passion, to pursue your own goals, to be selfish a little bit, and then come back and sort of take what you've learned, take what you've gained to improve the relationship, to improve the community. You can do that. That's a possibility because if everyone does that, if everyone's making themselves better, it makes the whole better, right? If every piece of the puzzle is making itself better, then the whole portrait becomes better, right? That's the idea here. And, it's I can take words and I can make the definition kind of funky and kind of weird and kind of ambiguous and complicated, but that's really it here. It's just that you can be selfish in life. You're allowed to. Selfishness is a natural feeling. It's a natural emotion. It plays a big role in being jealous and envious and obsessive because that is a prime motivator in achieving your own goals and achieving what you need to achieve to become successful. And on top of that, you can build up on it. You can build up on the fact that, if you're jealous of your teammates and you use that to build yourself up, you can also realize that your jealousy can also be admiration. Your jealousy can also be respect, to be honor. You can honor them in a way by being jealous against them. I'm always saying that, some of my training partners, some of the guys at the gym, they're way better than me, and I know it, and I'm jealous of it. And every time I roll with them, every time I train with them, I'm trying to beat them. I'm trying to be better than them. And in turn, with me being selfish against them, with me being selfish, trying to overcome them, trying to dominate them, trying to beat them, they're working harder. They're getting better. And them getting better makes me better because I can get more jealous for it. I can get more selfish about it. And it makes them better because I'm pushing them. And then when I push them, they can push back. And that's what I mean. You can be selfish and selfless at the same time without even knowing it. And that's sort of the theme here, right? That's sort of the subtopic of the major topic of these next few episodes, where I'm going to be talking about my own flaws, my own inadequacies. And this is something that I used to be insecure about. I used to be, bothered by the fact that I could have these selfish ideas, these selfish thoughts, these selfish motivations. And then when you come to terms with it, like I did, when you come to terms with the fact that you can be selfish, that you can be jealous, it makes you better because it helps you realize where your intentions lie. It helps you realize, this is what I feel. And when you know what you feel, when you believe that it improves you, it does. It's like a placebo effect. It will make you better. It will help you become better. And that's the idea here, guys. And that's really it for this first one. This first one is all about selfishness. But in terms of being selfish, you can also be selfless. It's finding that balance and understanding that it's normal. You don't have to be afraid of it. You don't have to be afraid of the fact that you can feel these negative, quote-unquote, emotions. That you can feel jealous. You can feel selfish. It's fine. It's okay. It can help if you use it correctly. And that's sort of the goal of what I'm trying to say here, if you use it correctly. But that's it for this one, guys. If you want to hear more, stay tuned. I'm going to try and post every Monday like I used to. Sometimes I do need a couple weeks break. But, this is a big motivator for me is I finally understand that I can be jealous, that I can be selfish, and it's okay. And I want you guys to understand that as well. But yeah, if you guys want to hear more, you can follow, you can subscribe, you can do whatever you do on whatever platform you have. Follow me on Instagram, support me on Patreon directly if you want to. You can really find me anywhere. If you guys want to spread the message too, I've had a lot of people ask, how they can sort of help spread this podcast and how they can help support the show. I will have a new link system. It's called Linktree, if you guys haven't heard of it. But basically, it's like this web page where you have an assortment of links, like my Patreon, my Instagram, my YouTube, the official website, Apple Podcast links. It's all a whole bunch of links, basically. I'm going to post it in the description. I'm also going to post it on the Instagram post. So if you guys want to stay up to date, if you guys want to hear more, then just go to that. If you guys want to spread the word, also go to that. But thank you so much for listening. Have an amazing day. Get out there, get hungry, and good luck.